was like, I might be pregnant. Here's my bump. Here's my belly bump. My goal is to do an unmedicated birth again. Did you film taking the test, and why did you keep it a secret? I was praying a lot. I was like, Lord, I just don't know why I feel so anxious about this. Was it planned? I remember you saying you want to buy a house first. Okay. Hi guys, it is 2 p.m. and I am only now getting ready for the day. If you want to know the truth about my pregnancy, that is the truth. Typically, I get up, I give the kids breakfast, we just get going on the day, and until it's like nap time, I really don't even get ready until like 12 or 2 p.m., which is just very wrong. But that's life now. This morning, dropped them off to my mom's, came back, worked on a blog post for Valentine's Day crafts for kids. So if you've been waiting for that creative content that I talked about in my last video, make sure to check out my blog at NicoleLellaGreen.com. I'll post it in the description. Some good crafts you can do with your kids, without your kids. They're easy, they're actually cute. Thought I would do a little pregnancy Q&A and just do it as I am getting ready and cleaning the house. I have to head out soon to pick up the kids, but wanted to get this video done. Yeah, it's not gonna be like a sit down and talk to you video. It's gonna be like I'm doing other things while I'm talking to you video. So I hope you guys don't mind that. Thank you so much. I have to say this to all the love and support, the kindest comments ever on my last video. Well, my last few videos, I feel like I've been really opening up and being honest about changes and things, and I've been crying as I read comments because it's so overwhelming seeing the support and the love and just like understanding from you all. I feel like you guys get me. You just get me. Some of you get me, some of you don't. Most of you get me. And I really appreciate being understood. I love the community we have here. This is my scent, guys, Burberry, the original one, the original only. Okay, moving on to cleaning my bed. I don't know if you guys saw my plant in the corner. I've been a bad plant mom. Here's my bump, here's my belly bump. Let's just jump in. I wrote down a bunch of questions. I'll be chatting as I clean. I'm gonna pop a squat, fold some laundry. First question is, how have you been feeling? I'm actually doing a lot better now than I was the whole beginning of my pregnancy. Overall, I feel like all my pregnancies are very similar symptoms. I deal a lot more with being tired, especially in my first trimester, nauseous in my first trimester, sensitivity to smells, and then also battling more like feeling down, feeling depressed, especially when I'm pregnant in the winter, which seems to be the case every single time. But I do feel like the tiredness, the exhaustion was even more prominent this time around, and I just attribute it to the fact that, well, I'm, running around with 2 toddlers, so that must be why I'm just more tired. And I thought, you know what, by the time I'm in my second trimester, I'll get my energy back and I'll feel better. Enter second trimester, and honestly, I didn't feel any less tired. I was still exhausted. I had so much trouble waking up in the morning. My body just felt fatigued, and I'm like, man, this is weird. Usually in my second trimester, I'm doing so much better. So lo and behold, I do like some blood tests with my midwives and find out I am anemic. So I've always kind of had low iron in general, and I need to actually take like an iron supplement because I'm not getting enough iron. So that explained a lot. That explained my exhaustion, fatigue, tiredness. Once they got me on iron supplements, I slowly started to feel so much better. I also mentioned in my last video, like we just got through pretty much an entire month of on and off sickness for the entire family. So adding on to pregnancy and being anemic, a bunch of illnesses, like all of that made it really rough. I just feel like I got through like a very low valley, and I'm on the up and up now. I feel way healthier, way more energy. Was it planned? I remember you saying you want to buy a house first. Okay. I was postpartum with Aria, stopped nursing her when she was around 11 months old. And so at that point, I still had not gotten a menstrual period. Like the same thing happened with Jace. I didn't get my period back until after a few months that I stopped nursing him. So I thought, okay, I stopped nursing Aria. I'm sure I'll get my period back in a few months. That's just the way my body works. So it's about, 1 month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, still hadn't gotten a period. I thought, okay, it's gonna come. We did not intend to get pregnant. We discussed how we would like to buy a house first before we start trying to get pregnant with a third. You guys saw that in one of our past vlogs. And so that being said, I never got my period back. And clearly the first time that my body was ovulating was when I got pregnant, obviously. Next question is, what was Richie's reaction? Yeah, it was quite a surprise in the best way possible, of course, because we're very excited. There was a lot of initial like disbelief, but then not really, because you know, obviously that risk was there. What's my birth plan? Do I want an unmedicated birth again? My goal is to do an unmedicated birth again. It's rough because in my heart, I'm like, well, I can do unmedicated. I've done it before, so surely I can do it again. But at the same time, it's like, yes, and I am also so aware of what that means, like what that truly means. The challenges and the extreme pain that come along with that makes me a little nervous, a little fearful, I'm not gonna lie. And I've just heard stories of like, yeah, the third baby just coming out, shooting out, and like 2 hours of labor and it's done. I mean, that would be amazing if that can happen to me. But I just feel like, okay, my body knows what's going on. This is the third time. Like maybe it will be even faster this time, even easier this time. Does your toddler better understand this time around? He does. He understands so much better, which is so much more exciting. Like he comes up to my tummy, he asks about the baby, he wants to talk to the baby, kiss my belly. He has so many questions, and he's been wanting to watch my birth vlog from his birth, from Arya's birth. Like that's a video he likes to watch, which is very funny. Okay, question I've been getting a lot of is, when am I due? Or how far along am I? You know, I don't want to share my exact due date this time, nor am I going to share the baby's exact birth date. That's something that I did in the past that I wish I didn't do. I think that's a little too much info, but I'm 24 weeks. I didn't even realize. I barely look at my app now. 24 weeks. Did you have symptoms / how did you know you were pregnant? Yes. So the actual day that I ended up taking a pregnancy test, I remember driving my car and I was like, oh, I feel so nauseous, which is just for me a sign that I am pregnant, like especially being nauseous while driving. I dropped the kids off to my mom's. My mom gives me deer meat from my dad, okay? She's like, here you go. We got some fresh hunted deer meat. I go home and I start cooking this deer meat, and oh my goodness, the smell was so terrible. I was just like nauseous from it the entire day. I was cooking in a crock pot. So you know how the crock pot smell just gets like stronger and stronger each hour. And I was just like trying not to gag. It was grossing me out so bad. And I was like, I might be pregnant. I'll just take a test. So that was kind of like the two major things that prompted me to even take a test. Okay, will you share the gender? I think that I will in a few weeks. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm leaning towards yes. So you'll see a video if that comes out. If not, you'll find out when the baby's born. What will the age gaps be? Okay, this is like one of the first things I calculated, of course, once I realized I'm pregnant. This is obviously like approximate, but Jace and Arya are a little over 2 years apart. And then this baby and Arya will be around 18, 19 months apart. So they will be closer than Jace and Arya were, which honestly made me really happy once I figured all that out and then thought about, like, you know, had we waited until we got a house and got settled in, then Arya and this baby will be a lot further apart, probably over 2 years. So I actually like that Arya and this last baby will be nice and smushed together. How do you stay sane in the first 12 weeks with fear of loss? This was something I experienced more in this pregnancy than my other two. I don't know why, but I was so paranoid. So I was around 8 weeks when I found out I was pregnant. I think what helped was obviously going in to get a test as soon as possible. I can't remember if that soon, if they were able to like listen to a heartbeat yet, which probably made me feel better. You know, getting an ultrasound and just being able to see things made me feel a lot better. I was praying a lot. I was like, Lord, I just don't know why I feel so anxious about this. Obviously, I'm praying for a healthy baby. I would try to not think too much about negative things. If I saw like posts on Instagram about sick children, sick babies, or very sad stories about things I don't even want to say out loud, I stayed away from them. I wasn't reading those posts. I wasn't looking at them. I just didn't want that to get in my head. I wanted to stay as positive as possible. And then around, I think like 17, 18, 19 weeks, I started to feel kind of those little flutters that you feel, which made me feel so much better. And then once it started to get more into like kicking around 20 weeks, 21 weeks, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I just want to feel kicks. I just want to feel confident in this. How was it being nauseous and parenting two littles? Y'all, it has been hard. It has been very hard. Definitely each pregnancy, I feel it get more difficult with obviously yet another child I am trying to take care of, as I'm also trying to take care of my pregnant self. Did you film taking the test, and why did you keep it a secret? I filmed taking the test after I took it and saw that it was positive, and I was like, I just kept saying, this wasn't the plan. That's like what I kept saying. And why did I keep it secret? I kind of talked about this in my last video, wanting to be a little bit more private. And so for me, this was a way to keep something sacred and special to myself, my family, those who are closest to me. I have never experienced that with my first two pregnancies. At 12 weeks, I had already posted the announcement online, which there's nothing wrong with. It's up to each person to decide how they want to do it. I wanted a different experience this time. I wanted to go through half of my pregnancy without thousands of people knowing, and it felt amazing. And I'm so glad I did it, and I have no regrets. And I even was contemplating not ever sharing the news. I was contemplating maybe not coming back to YouTube and vlogging it. There was a lot of things I've been weighing out. And so, yeah, just not committing to sharing that yet was just part of my journey, and that is that. Do we have to buy anything at all, being that it's our third child? We actually do, just a few things. The car thing, I don't think we need a new car. I think we can actually fit 3 car seats in the back. We will need another car seat, obviously, and I'm thinking to do like the system with, what is that one called? It's like the really small compact one. It's a car seat and you put it in like these mini legs. I've been seeing people at church with them. People use them at the airport a lot, which is super convenient. And I cannot remember the name. Is it Nuna? I don't know, but I kind of wanted that one just because of how compact it is, and we'll be traveling later this year. And then I think we will need either a bassinet or a crib. I really don't think I need any more newborn clothes. I have all the clothes I need for my other kiddos. How do you feel about actually having 2 under 2? I thought that was funny because before I didn't actually have 2 under 2, but I used it kind of loosely. Until I read that question, it didn't hit me that I am actually having 2 under 2 now. I didn't even realize that, even though I had done the math. I don't know. I'm very eager to see what that is like, because with the age difference between Jace and Aria, it was really rough because Jace was like in the thick of it with his terrible twos. And sometimes I wonder, like, if he was actually a little bit younger, would he have been at that stage yet? Would it have potentially been easier? Or if he was a little bit older, would it have potentially been easier? And so now I feel like we're going to be in a little bit of a different situation where Aria will be younger. And I'm like, maybe she won't like fully get what's going on to act out, or maybe she won't be in the terrible twos. Also, they're very different personalities, so I don't know how she'll handle it. It's gonna be interesting. Will you vlog the birth again? I don't know yet. I think that I'll definitely vlog it and have footage just for us to keep, because I have footage of all my baby's births. Will I post it online is the question, because I did have someone else say, like, I'm assuming you're not gonna do the labor and birth vlog then, based on what I've been sharing about privacy and stuff. I wouldn't say that that's a correct assumption. I think that with a labor and delivery vlog, you can still manage to keep certain things private that you want to keep private, but share what you want to share. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still thinking through that one. Okay guys, those are all the questions I'm going to be answering in this video. I know some of my answers were I don't know, but truly sometimes you just don't know. Hope this was fun to watch, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!